Now, Gallup has been doing a poll for a long time. What is the top issue in the country? What are you most worried about? For a long time, for 4 years before 2008, Iraq was the #1 concern. If you remember between 2004 and 2008, that's very logical, right? I mean, Iraq was an absolute disaster, and people were very concerned about it. From 2008 to 2013, it was the economy. Also very logical. There was a crash in 2008, and for all that time, we were recovering, right? Well, we have a new winner for 2014. #1 thing that Americans are most concerned about. Well, let me go in reverse order. First, coming in at #4, healthcare at 10%. Oh, okay. All right to be concerned about there. There's still a lot of people who are uncovered. It's getting a little bit better. That's why it's not #1. It's #4. #3 is unemployment and jobs at 15%. People are still concerned about that, but things are getting better. 5.8% unemployment is much better than expected at this point. The economy comes in at #2 at 17%. But for the first time ever, Americans are most worried about politicians. Government, Congress, and politicians came in at #1 at 18%. People saying that in America, the thing they are most concerned about is their government and their politicians. And you know what? They are absolutely right. Absolutely right. Because they get a sense, and that's why I hate it when people say, oh, the American people are stupid, oh, people are dumb. But that's not true. Oftentimes they'll be misinformed on purpose. Money in politics, for example, buys you a lot of TV ads to trick people, to misinform them, right? But that doesn't mean people are stupid. It's not their job to know the ins and outs of politics. They have a general sense that in the short term might lead to decisions that we don't necessarily agree with, but in the long term does lead to the right place. It often does, okay? That's why we had great progress in this country. That's why we've got women's rights, civil rights, now gay marriage rights, etc. We're headed in the right direction, right? It's because people can generally smell bullshit. And in this case, what they sense is that their government is leading them astray, that their so-called representatives are not representing them, and that is the core of the problem. It's not a peripheral problem. It's not like, oh, campaign finance reform, I don't understand it. No, they're saying government is corrupt. And that's causing things like unemployment, bad economy, income inequality, because those politicians are getting greased. They are. And that's absolutely true. They're absolutely right. They're getting money in, and then what do? They return the favors to the people who gave them the money. So that's why, for example, in 2010, 93% of the economic gains from the so-called recovery went to the top 1%. 93%, the top 1%. Because those are the donors. That's the donor class. That's why they put a little bit of money into the politicians. They get all the money back, right? And you don't get any of it. And that's why in this economic recovery, stock market is at a record high again. Profits for corporations are at record high. But wages are flat because you didn't grease the politicians. But now you know that. That's why it's the #1 problem in the country. So, people in the mainstream media will look at this and go, tut, 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 and they'll shake their heads. Oh, the American people, they don't realize the government is great. And the honorable gentlemen from Nebraska and Connecticut are wonderful people we see in the cocktail circuit. I do declare they're lovely people. You're all misguided. Really, it's other problems. No, you're not misguided. They're misguided. You're 100% right. These guys have sold out to these donor class 1,000%, and you're on to the problem. There is a way to fix it. You get money out of politics. How do you do that? You know, brothers and sisters, wolf-pac.com. Again, this is not a liberal or progressive issue. This is an issue for all Americans. 95% agree that money corrupts politics. That's why you're seeing polls like this. Republicans agree. Independents agree. Libertarians agree. Democrats agree. Everybody agrees. If you pay someone, of course they're going to do your bidding. We're not stupid. They don't represent you. There's a way to fight back. Join the fight. wolf-pac.com. Let's go get them.